I'll do that during the break. Hey guys, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Um, so
Orwell got
Orwell's not
Orwell got
looking
his
great.
blood sucked.
Yeah, the two of
So
you
rush to
are.
him on a scale of 0 to -10. About how bad is he looking?
He's not as bad as your previous slave,
Mm-hmm.
but he definitely doesn't look like he's going to be waking up anytime soon. His skin is quite pale, especially in the areas near where he's been drained. It's kind of ashen. He's a little bit sweaty. Do you have a healing proficiency?
No. No. What I do have is an engineering proficiency.
You could
So,
engineer a tool to decide how well he's doing.
oh, I was gonna make a stretcher and
Oh yeah, that makes a
make
lot
it
more
easier
sense.
for us
Okay.
to carry him.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but I also kind of if so I cast. I didn't get hit, but I hit some things. I cast spells. Do I need like a full 8 hours to memorize new spells?
No,
Or
you didn't take any damage.
no?
So if you can get a few hours of sleep, you can rememorize spells.
All right. It's still early, Reptower. Perhaps let us rest a few more hours, and we will figure out what to do when I awaken. Could
He
you
takes
keep an eye on
watch.
Orwell? And
Yes.
yeah,
He takes watch without much complaining, and the rest of the night passes uneventfully.
all right.
You guys wake up the next morning.
Yeah, I'll wake up, memorize, enlarge, reduce, and color spray again.
Nice.
Go to boring wizard, and then I assume that Orwell looks much the same.
Yeah.
All right, and then I will go about putting together some sort of gurney or stretcher for
Give
us to
me
carry.
a engineering check. You don't need an engineering check for a stretcher. Do you have rope?
I don't, so I'm gonna need to make some rope. I'll roll an engineering check,
Yeah, that's gonna take time.
some binds and stuff.
Give me that engineering check.
I could have memorized conjure spell components and just pretended that the rope is a spell component, right?
Nothing
Or
man-made.
okay, well then some binds.
Let's see what your.
I engineer the
Oh, it's
shit out of that
beautiful.
structure. I think I don't even use rope. I like find a way to like interweave the sticks together so that they just like
Hmm.
support each other. It's the
Yeah,
most beautiful structure you've ever seen.
you know that
Not the most beautiful, but highly functional and put together very quickly.
that basket weaving elective you took at wizardry school it's really paying off right now. You make this great little stretcher. You toss Orwell on it. Everything's hunky dory.
I think Reptar takes the point,
Mm-hmm.
and we got Orwell suspended between us.
Mm-hmm. Today is a little bit of a harder day. You guys don't have any food, and
Yeah,
while Reptar seems like he's okay without it,
can we eat
you're.
sturges?
Hmm?
I was thinking about eating sturges for breakfast. Actually,
Do you want to try eating a sturge?
I think I'm gonna roast one over the coals,
Is it
and
cannibalism if you eat a sturge who is
I try
drinking
and
a
get one.
person's
Yeah,
blood?
I try and get one that does not have blood in it, and so just like roast sturge legs.
Okay, the sturge legs are pretty thin. There's not much meat on them.
For
They're
them.
like little, just like in little
Try to
insect
avoid the
wings.
blood sac, but I mean insects are good protein.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a grub skill.
Yeah.
I think this is where grub
Yeah.
skill really comes into play: is eating blood-sucking insects.
No, my. So am I unable to eat it, or am I unable to prepare it in a satisfactory fashion?
It tastes about as good as crickets when you don't cover them in butter and garlic and fry them. So it's weird. It's weird. It's well. Have you seen Snowpiercer?
Those were
Roaches, right? Cockroaches.
yeah. Um,
But you can
okay.
eat it if you are hungry enough.
Does
Your
it seem
companion.
inedible? Does it
Yeah,
seem
I mean,
poisonous?
technically speaking, it's edible.
I said inedible, so it
Oh, I
seems
mean,
okay.
it's probably edible,
Does it
probably not
seem better than
poisonous.
going hungry, or am I unable to? With my failed grub skill, I can't even tell.
With your failed grub skill, it seems gross as shit. It just depends on if you are willing to accept grossness in exchange for not a hungry stomach, and that's
I think, yeah, all aboard,
okay.
all aboard the gross train, all aboard the Snowpiercer to to Cockroach Land. Does
No,
So I roast them over the fire to hopefully kill everything. Does Reptar eat any?
no. Reptar looks at you like you're insane. Like you're just you're eating what? What now? Huh? But you make a meal for yourself and continue on the day.
What do wizards do with their quarterstaves when they're casting spells?
Lean it against your shoulder, or maybe with some spells you can cast holding the quarterstaff in one hand. But I presume you could just like set it in front of you and let it rest on you while you
Yeah.
do your
Okay.
shenanigans.
All right. I think my quarterstaff is on the stretcher.
Okay. Nice. Um, you continue along the river, staying far enough away to keep clear of any alligators, I presume.
Yeah.
No one likes a gator. They're not as. Oh, actually. Okay. But we are not out of danger yet. These are the untamed wilds, and they are extraordinarily dangerous to travel through.
Your hardcore heroes group is fucked.
Well, hey, if a first level wizard can do it, they should be fine.
A
There'll be four
first
of
level
them.
wizard on the backs of a half dozen slaves.
Yeah, maybe.
So the wizard of their party will be fine, but the fighters are screwed.
Okay. So as I said, things are not going well for you, and this is a dangerous part of town, or part of nature. You and Reptar are walking. Reptar's pulling Orwell behind him in this makeshift thing. Your staff is resting on it. You're walking behind,
I think
enjoying the
we're
beauty.
both it's like a stretcher. He's
Oh, so
got
you're
the front
both okay. So
wheel.
one of
I'm
you's
the
on one
back.
side, the other's on the other side, and you're sharing
Yeah.
the load.
Mm-hmm.
Share the load, Frodo. Um, and you're enjoying your time in the forest when there is a faint kind of like. Hold on. I can normally do. And it's a weird clicking noise. I can't seem to make it right now. You can never make it on demand. Um, there's a weird clicking noise, and springing from the water are two 7-foot tall green scaled lizard men. And dropping from a tree before you is a third. They descend on you guys completely
I
by
think we.
surprise,
Oh shit.
brandishing their long, kind of thin spears with jagged stone blades at the end of them. And the one dropping from a tree says in a really, really bad common, "Lay down your arms."
Okay.
Reptar
I
immediately
say rep.
drops Orwell and puts his hand on the hilt of
Yeah.
his sword.
I put down Orwell. I say we surrender, and I sort of step out in front. How close are they? There's two in the river.
Yeah, they are 15 feet away. The one that dropped from a tree is 8 feet away, and his spear makes
Okay,
it.
but
The spear
he's
blades are
on the
about
other
two
side of
feet.
Reptar.
He's in front of you. The ones coming from the river
Reptar's in
are
front
on
of
the
me.
other side.
Okay.
Oh, you okay? You were carrying the stretcher. Sorry, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
so
All right.
he's on the other side of Reptar, and the other ones are to your left.
Okay. So I we set the stretcher down.
Mm-hmm.
I put my hands up and I say, "We surrender." Um, I'm gonna start casting a spell, but I tell them that we surrender. Um, I say, "Here, we have gold. You want gold?" And I go for like a belt pouch. I don't have any weapons on my waist,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, it looks like I'm going for a gold pouch, but it's a pouch of sand, colored sand. And then I quickly, it's a casting time 1 spell, so I just immediately go into my arcane words and throw the powdered sand
Okay.
at the 2 in the water.
As you're saying, do you want gold?
Initiative.
The lead lizard man says, "Your weapons and your gold, leave them with us."
Yeah, I mean, I think as he's saying that, I'm like, and
With your word to surrender, Reptar starts disarming
I
himself. Your
no, I
spell.
try to, yeah. I mean, I've got to, I cast the spell first, but like immediately after, I
Yeah.
will shout like sword and get him. But
Okay.
that's what should we roll initiative?
You take them
Roll
both
a
by
surprise.
surprise. You take all 3 of them by surprise. I mean, so no need to roll initiative. Your spell goes off. However,
Okay.
the only way
They
to hit
are-
all 3 of them is to also hit Reptar in the process. Actually, what is the range? Can you even hit all 3?
25 by 20 by 20 wedge. I was assuming I was only hitting the 2 in
Yeah.
the water.
You can hit the 2 in the water and leave the 1 by Reptar.
2, perfect. Yeah. So I throw it at the 2 in the water. I think they're only 1 hit die. Let's see. Creatures hit die are levels 1. So even if they're 1 plus 1 is still 1. So they are hit die or levels are less than or equal to mine. So they're unconscious for 2d4 rounds.
They are not unconscious for 2d4 rounds. They are 2 hit die creatures, which gives them a saving throw, right?
No, it doesn't get. You have to have 6 to get a saving throw. It makes them blind for
Okay.
d4.
They
Lizardmen were 2 hit die. Those with levels 1 or 2 greater than the wizard are blinded for d4.
Okay.
Oh, all creatures above the level of the caster and all those of 6th level. So I guess if they're a higher level than me, they get a saving throw.
Okay.
All of those.
Yes. That's what I was reading.
Okay. All right.
So these colors spray out broadly. The lizardmen shriek and raise a hand to block their face.
At this point, like after I spew these colors, I shout, "Reptar, sword!"
And initiative.
Do they look blinded? Can I tell yet?
They decidedly look unblinded.
We're fucked.
They look like they rolled an 18 and 19 on their saving throws.
Hello, my sweeterling.
All right.
She's ruining our Dungeons and Dragons game. But not
Those
really.
saving throws ruin my Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yeah. Initiative. You have 11. You're going to go dead last. No, you're going to tie with Reptar.
Mm-hmm.
The lizardmen surge forward. One in the front and one coming up the side go after Reptar, and they spear him for a combined 6 points of damage. Reptar cries out in pain and is badly wounded. A third comes to you with a stab and a miss. You and Reptar go at the same time. There's one adjacent to you.
I shout threats. "Fear me, lizardmen! I am a great and powerful wizard."
Reptar
I
slashes
clash him with a quarterstaff.
Okay.
3 points of damage to the lizard.
Okay. You whap yours for 3.
Run while you can.
Reptar stabs his for 3 as well. That's the one that came up from the river that it went after him. And it does not look happy or healthy.
All right. Initiative.
Yes.
Ah, shit. 8. I hope they have big spears. Big
They
spears.
have normal spears. Reptar goes first, slashing again at the wounded one with a miss. Your turn.
Nice. I produce some iron powder from my pouch, sprinkle it over my own head, grow 10%. So I think of grow about 6 inches
Mhm.
as I shout, "Fear me! I am the great wizard Georg. Run while you still can." And
You
I brandish my
grow.
quarterstaff threateningly at the lizard man before me.
He does not seem to fear your
I
petty tricks.
morale check. I guess they haven't died
Yeah,
yet.
morale check, but he passed. He
I don't think there's a way to
stabs
he
at
stabs
you.
me.
Would you have AC 10?
Yeah.
Okay. I was hoping he
Go
had
down.
AC 11, but no, AC 10 is a hit. You take 1 point of damage.
Are you serious?
You take a measly 1 point of damage from his D6 spear as he scrapes you. What, you have 2 HP?
I have 2 HP. Yeah.
Oh my god, you're so lucky. I guess that's actually a fairly grievous wound for you. The spear runs across your rib cage, ripping your robes open and exposing your life's blood to the air. The badly wounded lizard man retreats to the water while the lead one slashes once again at Reptar, piercing him badly, criticaling him. He takes 6 damage and almost drops to a knee. He is up, but it is not looking good for him. He actually needs to make a saving throw versus death. But natural 20 on the saving throw versus death, and he does not go down. Alright. Next round initiative. Reptar looks bad. He looks real bad. But then again, one of the other guys did retreat. 2 on 2.
Yeah. All right. 7 initiative for me.
Reptar goes first. Slash at the lead guy. Bounces off the scales without drawing any blood. Your turn.
13. Are they armored?
Their natural armor is thicker than that.
Does the embankment of the river give me high ground?
No, because they're 7 feet tall.
So am I almost.
Yeah, but no, there's no bonus on that. A swing and a miss.
Rawr!
Oh my god. They both stab at you guys, missing wildly. The lead one says, "You could have lived through this. This will be your own fault." And we roll initiative as the lead taunts to you. "Death is near. The time of mammals is coming to an end. The time of lizards arises."
Oh my god. I get 9 on my initiative.
Oh, that's no good for you. Reptar's good, though. Reptar's super good. And he is super good. Reptar crits. Fucking
Crits the
Reptar,
leader?
man. You are getting
hiss-
somewhere on the back of your slaves.
Mm-hmm. It's the theme of this campaign. I
Alright.
hiss back. It is the time of man. Flee while you can.
He only deals 6 damage in his crit. But the creature fails its saving throw versus death. So D6 for severity, D10 for location. 6 and 0. Ooh.
Headshot.
Headshot. Way to go, Reptar. Seriously. 19, 10, 6. I guess he could have done higher on his damage, but whatever. Head, 6. Eye injured. Stunned 1 round. -2 penalty to attacks. So Reptar slashes the lizard man right across the face, scratching into its eye. The lizard stumbles backwards, bluish greenish blood trickling down its face, reeling in pain, letting out a nasty hiss. The lizard men go before you. That guy is stunned. The one that is on you.
Morale check?
Yeah, its leader's pretty badly wounded. No, dude, this
Fighting a
guy's got
magic user.
morale of steel. This guy is never afraid. This guy will seemingly fight to the death.
He beat my 9 initiative.
Oh, he does beat your 9 initiative, but his 7 attack will never hit you. He slashes wildly at you, hissing and clicking in
I do
strange
as well.
language. Okay. Initiative.
God, I can't catch a break.
Reptar descends upon the leader, rolling another 19, but with the +4 for the leader being stunned, it is a 23. Holy shit. 24 including his own level, which is just 1 away from a crit, a double crit.
Doesn't matter, he's screwed.
No, he only does 3 damage. The leader lives.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious. But he fails another saving throw versus death. Gets hit in the head again for 5. Dungeons and Dragons, guys. Anything can happen. Weird fucking combos today.
Combo breaker.
Snout struck. Minor bleeding. Monster must save versus death or retreat for 1 round.
Does he pass or?
No, he fails. The lizard man gets hit on the nose badly, critically hit on the nose, critically hit in the face, and it just freaks out and starts writhing backwards, hissing an order to its companion, who also withdraws that round back towards the water.
Do they withdraw or do they run?
They withdraw very carefully. Reptar is barely standing. As they retreat and disappear from sight, he drops to a knee in pain.
There will be time for rest later. Quickly, Reptar. Grab Orwell. Let's run.
We move slow with him. Leave him behind. Master!
I hesitate for a second, putting a hand on Orwell, and then I look to my beautifully crafted stretcher, shake my head, and leave it behind in the dirt.
You think to yourself,
Fine.
you could probably take the stretcher. That wouldn't slow you down. But the thought passes, apparently.
That would be so sad. All right. I guess we leave Orwell behind.
You leave Orwell behind and quickly get out of there. I will delete him from the documents because he does not make it out
No.
alive.
No. All that
Reptar
for
sets the pace
nothing.
for the two of you, jogging as fast as he can, which is more of like a quick limp. It's kind of like a hobble drag as he.
I think I help them. We help each other, like lean on each other as we limp, hopefully out of these goddamn woods.
Almost.
More encounter checks.
No more encounter checks, but as you are limping down the road, you come across.
There's no road, is there?
No, I'm sorry, limping down along the bank of the river.
I think we pull a little away from the river.
Okay.
Into the woods.
Well, same thing happens anyway. You end up coming not quite face to face with, but you see napping in a sunny spot in a small glade is a rather large black bear.
Not this again. Does it spot us? I don't think it smells
Yes,
us.
it's facing
Air.
towards you, and its eyes are open. It kind of snorts at the air as you guys limp into view.
We back away slowly, staff in hand. I guess they're ready and
3
attacked.
and 6. You are indifferent.
We
Maybe.
are friendly. Can I be friendly to this bear?
No, I don't think you're friendly. I think you're fairly
Hey,
indifferent to the
hey,
bear.
bear. There's some food back there. There's some lizard men for you to eat.
Definitely not threatening or hostile. So the bear kind of snorts at you, looks at you, rolls over, so it's not like like it's a cat hovering. Kind of watches you for a moment as you take your time and move around it. By the end of the day, you're exhausted. Both of you are covered in blood. Most of it Reptar's, some of it yours. But you come to a confluence in the river. Um, and just a few moments beyond that, you see the lights of a small town kind of cropping up in the twilight of the night of the evening sky.
Look, people, we're saved. Pointing to the lights in the village as we limp down the hill out of the woods.
Yes,
We
you
still have to
limp down
cover
along the river.
It's on.
It seems that you have two rather large rivers coming together. Yours is the smaller of the two. Around here, it's about 120 feet wide. The other one's about 200 feet wide. And as they merge, they form like a 250-foot river that seems to be much deeper than the one you're currently in.
That empties into the ocean. So I guess
Yeah,
we
it empties into the
the
ocean quite
now.
quickly, actually. There's only maybe about a half mile between where they merge and where they empty.
What time of day is it? Is it
It
evening
is
time?
nighttime. By the time you're actually on this riverbank looking across to see the house, the buildings, the sun has set.
Is there? So the town is across the river.
Yes, the town is across the river. It is not super big, and it appears that there is a keep on a small hill in the center of town, or maybe at the backside of town. It's hard to tell with the lights here.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there any way to cross the river? Is there
there's
like
no
a
way to cross, but you do
docks
see that
or
there is a small pier and what looks to be like a little harbor protected by a mound of rocks that has been, or like a line of rocks that is stretched out into the ocean. There's no
on the far
docks on the
side of the
river,
river?
but there are docks on the ocean.
On our side of the river or on the far side?
No docks on any side of the river. Oh,
And
yeah, the town's on the opposite side of the river, and the docks are in the ocean on the opposite side of the river.
scratching my head, I guess we walk along the river towards the ocean.
You get there. It is quite dark. You doubt
Yeah,
anyone on the
I
other side of the river has spotted you.
yeah, I light a torch and proceed to wave it at the docks, hoping that there is someone. Someone at the docks who would see it, come over to pick us up in exchange for coin.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Someone down on the other side of the beach gets up and kind of just waves back to you. You can barely make them out as a shadow against the lights of the town. And you hear a faint voice calling over the water. It sounds like they're shouting, but they can barely be heard over the rush of ocean meeting river. Hello there!
I try and shout back, "We need help! We're wounded! Lizardmen!
The person scampers off, and 10 minutes
Do you
later,
have a boat?"
10 minutes later, you see a group of 6 people coming down to the docks, and then a few minutes after that, you see a boat pulling out of the harbor with a lantern hanging from its prow. It comes across the confluence, and they pull up on the shore beside you, on the river, the ocean shore, not the river shore.
Oh, thank God. Thank the gods.
Where'd you come from?
Upriver.
Jesus.
You have no idea how grateful I am to see you. I'm Georg. This is Reptower. Thank you.
My name's Tommy. And this here, he says, pointing to the rower behind him, is Jordan. And well, come on, get in this boat. We'll take you to an inn in town. God, those wounds. How did you get them?
Lizards and mosquitoes the size of dogs, and
Sturges. Yeah, they've been pretty problematic. Nasty buggers.
these woods are these woods are a dark and horrifying place.
Did you come down the swamp water or down Crystal Run?
I from the south, from the mountains
You
and
came from the
across the
Shadow
sea.
Mountains?
Shadow Mountains, I suppose.
Wait, where did you originate from?
That, my friend, is a long story.
Okay, well, I'd
And
love to hear
as we
it.
row,
Let's get you to an inn first. It's
yeah.
so rude of me to be asking these questions while you're in such terrible condition. Jordan will
Who
fetch a
seems to
doctor, won't you,
own
Jordan?
who seems to own the boat, or who
The guy that you're
is it?
currently talking to.
Okay. All right, I'll hand him a gold coin, and I say, "Thank you so much for coming to our aid. Can share this amongst your friends.
He
Buy them
turns it over in
around."
his hand with a little bit of looks to be more of astonishment and goes, thank you. That's not necessary, but thank you. Definitely. Well, here, let me get you. Let's take you. He
It's
mumbles to
fine.
himself
It's
a little bit and
fine.
goes, yeah, I guess.
I imagine my coins are strange. These are probably coins minted across the sea. Would be my guess. I think this is my starting gold.
Yes. Here, we'll take you to the Storybook. That's a nicer place. Yeah, I think it'll be fine for you. And
This
after he gets you into the harbor, you notice the small crowd of other people have run over to see what's going on, and they help kind of, two of them take Reptar, one of them helps you, and they walk you uphill a little bit up the stone pathway to a town square where there seems to be a large fountain in the middle with various shops all aside. And on the north side of this town square is a two-story inn made out of what looks to be lumber and stone in a kind of mixed pattern. Um, yeah, you come down into the common room or to the lobby, I should say, and there's a night watchman who's just
can't be that. It's probably just a few hours after dark, right. So
yeah.
is there still stuff going on in the common room of the inn?
No, this room, the common room, is actually quite small. There's just a hearth, and a couple of chairs and like a reclining couch. There's no one here. There's no bar. It doesn't look like there's any sort of drink service or, uh, the common room is really pretty tiny. It's more like a waiting room than anything
Okay.
else.
Well,
The innkeeper gets up and looks over you guys and says, no, 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 you can clean them up somewhere else. I don't want any fresh bloodstains on my sheets.
I give
The
him just the dirtiest of looks. And
uh,
did this seem like the only inn in town? The only inn in the square?
it looked like the only inn in the square, but the way that the men were talking, it sounds like there's other inns around.
I think I just scowl at him for a moment. I've already forgot. Jordan? Is Jordan still
No, it was
there?
Jordan ran off to get a doctor. I've already forgotten the other guy's name. Jordan and we're gonna rename him Zeppelin. No, that's a terrible name. We're gonna rename him Bullock.
I forgot his name. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So did they just dump
Tommy's
us
his
here,
name.
or the guys that we showed up with here?
The guys that brought you across the river and were hanging out with you down below are here. You give the guy a dirty look. The others moan and groan, and one of them says, "Come on, look at these wounds. This man's almost dead. He came from the Shadow Mountains, huh? Isn't that a story that's worth getting a little blood on the sheets?" The guy scratches his chin and says, "That is injured. We've got a bucket out back. Here, we can clean him up in the streets before we take him inside."
I
God,
think
you're
I'm,
filthy.
I think I'm too tired and worn to be offended,
Yeah.
and
Okay. They
And
wash your wounds and kind of get the worst of the blood off you. The
and some
man comes with a couple of extra, like, nightgowns. He says you can have for a couple of copper. They look pretty worn and full of holes, and looks like it's more of
is this
a,
the innkeeper?
yeah, the innkeeper.
I give him the same dirty look I gave him before. I hand him a gold coin and I say, and some food.
Kitchen's closed, but I'll see if I can't get the stable boy to go find
We have
something somewhere.
we haven't eaten in days. Stale bread or cheese will do.
Sure, we'll get started on that. Um,
I'm,
he looks like he's about to ask you another question, and then thinks better of it and just goes back inside. It comes out a few minutes later with some crackers and some cheese and some lox.
does Reptar put on the nightgown?
Um, no, Reptar bundles the nightgown up and puts it underneath his head while he reclines in one of the chairs in the common room. Now that you guys are all washed up and not bleeding all over the place.
I think I'll wash my robes after I wash myself and change
Okay.
into the nightgown.
Sure. Everyone gathers around you to hear your story, asking where you came from. You have a strange accent.
Yes,
know-
I say, far to the east is a great continent by the name of Solemn, where wizards like myself train and study in great towers of ivory and stone. Blah, blah, blah. I tell them about wizarding school and how I came here for adventure and great journey across the plains, meeting halflings and partying with them, and how they begged me to stay with them for forever, but that I felt the call of the wind. Battled through goblins and spiders and sturges and bears.
My God.
Summited the Shadow Mountain. Congressed with other great wizards beneath the peaks.
But no one lives in the Hidden Valley. No one's ever. But they say there's a great lake in the center of it, at the back of the valley, but
There is. I've seen it with my own eyes.
no one's ever been there and come back alive.
Georg the Great has.
My God. There's a lot of murmuring and people talking to each other. By now, a doctor has showed up and is tending to your wounds a little bit more appropriately, applying this little poultice and that little thing. He doesn't ask to see money at first, but you get the feeling that he's going to charge you at the end of this.
Yeah. Tell him. Yeah. I don't know how. Yeah. I'll throw around money. I've had this gold since the beginning, and I have been in the woods and unable to spend it.
Okay.
So, how much does the doctoring cost? And I assume the 1 gold will cover room and board.
Yeah, it'll cover room and board. The doctor asks for a gold from each of you and Reptar as he applies his.
He asks for a
poultices.
gold for Reptar. Has a collar. He's clearly a slave.
Yeah. If you want Reptar treated, it will cost a gold.
Yeah, no, I absolutely pay for Reptar. I was surprised that he would ask Reptar for the gold.
Well, I mean, slaves are property. They should be taken care of. You know, you wouldn't.
No, I would expect him to ask me for the gold for Reptar. Is what I was surprised.
Oh no, yeah, he does
Like
ask
that he
you
would
for
turn to
both of their
that
gold.
he would turn to the slave and say, "All right, that'll be $100."
No. He tells you to pay for both of the two of you.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Hand over the 2 gold. We get stitched up.
Mhm.
We get fed eventually.
Yes.
Is this all going on in the common room?
This is all going in the common room while you're telling your story. The 8 men are
crowd
there,
gathered?
plus the doctor, the innkeeper, and the stable boy who's come in with the food. So that makes 11 of them who sit around and hear your tale of your travels from Solemn to Whiteshore to Highshire to the Goblin Woods, the Shadow Mountain, Lake Mysterium, through the Hidden Valley down Crystal Run, all the way to Shirebrook. Most of these names you haven't heard before.
But I think I'm piecing them together. Like as I described where we traveled, they're like, "Oh, that's the Crystal Run." I'm like, "Oh, I guess it's the Crystal Run."
They seem very curious about this wizard who lives out in your Lake
I
Mysterium.
think once I gather that they say no one lives there, I'm gonna try and brush over that and make it vaguer. Like I think I said like congressed with wizards in the mountains, and they're like no one lives there. So I think I'm getting the impression that he wants to be left alone.
Okay.
I'll probably make that more mysterious. So I'll be like, okay, yeah, you're right. No one lives there. I don't know totally how to
They,
handle it.
then they don't
Roleplay that
pay.
if you want, but
They don't
I think
push
I want
after
to.
it. There's enough fantastic details of your story that they're amazed by.
Yeah, but I think
Do
I
you?
do want to perpetuate that rumor that the mountains are abandoned, uninhabitable. Maybe wizards gather up there from time to time, but
Do you mention that you
nobody
started
can live
with
there.
like a dozen slaves
um,
and you made it out with one?
I'm thinking that may come up.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't call them slay. I'll say We set out from White Shore with a half dozen brave companions who were cut down one by goblins and spiders. And Reptar is the bravest and the strongest by far. I just look at him. He's more holes than man at this point, and he's still standing.
There's a round of laughter, and he gets a bunch of pats on the shoulder, some of which are a little too hard and cause him to, reel in pain and cough and whatnot. Eventually, the night draws to a close.
I try and ensure that Reptar is treated probably better than he's ever treated. Like I try and make sure that he gets as much food as we can muster up, and
Yeah.
he's getting proper doctor care.
There,
He's been starving in the woods on my behalf for weeks. And
there's not a lot of slavery where you come from, and you're more than a little surprised at the reception this clear and obvious slave is getting. It's not, they definitely don't treat him. They kind of treat him like he's not in the room unless they want to interact with him. But when they do, he's not being degraded in any way.
oh, okay.
But it's definitely the sort of thing where unless he's the topic of conversation, people don't, make eye contact with him. They don't look at him. They don't ask him any questions. Everything's directed to you. It's an unusual situation that you find yourself wrapping your head around.
Okay. Is this a good time to dish out some experience and hope to God that I
Yes,
level
this is a
up?
great time to dish out some experience. All right, you have made it from White Shore to Shirebrook by ground, which is an almost
The
impossible
wrong
feat.
way to go.
It's you probably wouldn't make it back if you had to turn around to do the same journey. So, well
Unless
done
I
for
hired an
you.
army
That's
of
actually
slaves.
quite a bit of experience there. Plus, you kind of defeated a crocodile. Yeah.
Blinded a crocodile. Defeated the Sturges, the Lizardmen.
Right.
I think that's it.
Hmm.
Right? Sturges, Lizardmen.
Yeah, and you found a way
ran from
across the river, although you
Ran
didn't.
from an owl bear.
Yeah, Albert doesn't count for shit. You learned some new spells. How many spells did you learn?
Oh, 2.
I was going to give you 100 XP per spell level that you learned.
All right, I learned 2 spells.
Okay. You know what? I'm just going to start dividing experience evenly between you and Reptar. And
Yeah, that's fine, except for I think spell experience.
spell
should be
experience is
mine
different,
alone.
yeah.
And I think casting spells gets me experience too.
Yes. Is it
That's what we were
100
doing last time.
XP per?
It's in the DMG. You want me to look it up?
Let's take a look at that. Experience. Okay, so before the individual stuff, you get 1275. Most of which comes
1275.
from the massive experience reward for making it all the way from White Shore to Shirebrook by ground. You had gotten some for climbing the mountains already and for some of the in-between feats, but the whole thing is an amazing feat. Where is...
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I was getting a little bit of lag.
I'm sorry,
What did you say?
1275 total experience for
Yeah,
the
I got
amazing feat of making it from White Shore to Shirebrook, which is really just astounding.
Yeah, I should not have survived that, especially with 2 HP.
Yeah.
Always listen to your DM when he says these woods are dangerous.
Spells
Probably
cast
means
to
it was
overcome foes or problems, 50 XP per spell level. So you
I
cast how many spells to overcome things this time?
Does it count if they don't actually help me overcome?
I'll give
Like the
you...
enlarges count, or
No, the enlarges never actually played a successful role in anything.
so I think I cast 3 color sprays Actually, two
Um,
color sprays, right? Only one of which was effective,
Right.
but I still cast them.
Okay, so it's just 50 experience for spell casting, and then you learn 2 spells.
Yeah. So 250.
Yeah, 250.
Okay. Anything else individual? I think that's it, right?
That's it, and you can go ahead.
10%
Yeah, you get
bonus is
10%, don't you?
275. So I'm up to 3767.5.
Sure.
Lucky 0.5, half. So I do level up. I'm level 2.
Reptar levels up as well.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that happen?
It's unfortunate. At this rate, you will never be able to get Reptar as a henchman because he's higher level than you.
Yeah. All right, let's roll that HP. 2. Okay. So 4 max HP. I'm at 2 out of 4, unless the doctor can help me.
Yes, you regain 1 additional HP from the poultice. Reptar gains an additional 3. That's over the course of the night, by the next morning.
Okay, so does that get me to full before I level up, or do I level up and then gain the HP?
You level up and gain the HP.
Okay, so I'm at 3 out of 4. I think that's about it. I can get an extra spell slot. Archvision in chat says I'll be Reptar's henchman. Yeah, I'll have to do some solo adventuring if I want Reptar to be my henchman.
Yeah.
Or if I do a bunch of spell experience and somehow manage to.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to be a higher. You just need. Can you be the same level as your henchman, or do you need to be a level higher?
Ooh, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, still gonna be a rough life. Only a little ways away from level 3, though. About 1300. All right. Anything else to discuss? Or
Actually,
shall we
there's
go
no
to our
rule in
second
here
break?
that says a henchman must be lower level than you.
There absolutely is. I don't know where it is, but
Maybe it's in the player's handbook then.
a henchman is always of lower level than the PC. Should he ever equal or surpass the PC level, the henchman leaves forever. It is time for him to try his luck in the real world. In some ways, the player character is the mentor and the henchman his student.
Ooh, okay.
So when the student has learned as much as the teacher, it is time for him to go out on his own. This is under henchmen, followers, chapter 12 NPCs.
Player's handbook?
I think he's a hireling at this point, right?
Okay. Yeah, he's a hireling for now. A free hireling? A slaverling?
I've been paying him in other ways with bear meat and
Yeah. That he caught for you.
grievous wounds. Hey.
I mean, sure, your color spray helped with that, but Anyway, why don't God? We've already done another hour. Why don't we take a break, and we'll come back in a few minutes with a little bit more Dicing with Death. See you guys on the other side. Bye bye.